by man. Because human beings failed at being kings. I like the Yoruba word for kingdom. It's what? Ijoba. The Yoruba translation and our other local languages were translated direct from the original text, not from the English. Because sometimes English lacks enough dexterity, enough words to describe some of the original words used in the Greek texts and the Hebrew texts. So it's amazing that kingdom is translated Ijoba. Ijoba is the word we use for government. Am I right? Yeah. So the kingdom of God is the government of God. The government of God. Now, we live in a democracy, and we keep telling ourselves democracy is the best form of government. Democracy is the best form of government. Who said? It is the best. All men are equal from now. There's no king, no slave anywhere. Equal. The people that established the United States of America actually ran away from a monarchy. They ran from England. They felt the monarchy was too oppressive. That's why when they then built their system, they decided to adopt democracy and innovated it. So what you have is president, not king. Then they created the legislature, made it bicameral, double, so that they would checkmate one another. Checkmate the executive. Many people don't understand why Americans carry guns. And it's a major amendment to their constitution that brought it. Early days. 2 reasons. First, you are the first line of defense when your life is in danger. You can call 911, call the police. But before they get there, you may be dead. So before police shows up, you are the first line of defense. 2, to prevent the tyranny of any president. So that no president would ever employ the army to now dominate the country. When you combine all the guns in the hands of the citizens, it's more than the guns with the military. That's why you may shout from today to tomorrow. They are not taking those guns away. Because they never want to go back to that point where one person is oppressing everybody like that. Okay, so that's what led to their own democracy. And they say they believe that all men are created equal. In our part of the world, all men are not equal. That's why the democracy is not working. So let's go back to this issue of being kings. When Israel asked for a king, God warned them. Sinful human nature will mess this kingship thing up. 1 Samuel 8, verses 10 to 20. 1 Samuel 8, 10 to 20, New Living Translation. I'll read quickly. So Samuel passed on the Lord's warning to the people who were asking him for a king. This is how a king will reign over you, Samuel said. The king would draft your sons and assign them to his chariots. So we still want a king, they said. We want to be like the nations around us. Our king will judge and lead us into. It turns out that when you read the whole chapter, you find out that God actually wanted to be their king himself. Yeah, if you back up, same chapter, 1 Samuel 8, verses 4 to 7, New Living Translation. Finally, all the elders of Israel met at Ramah to discuss the matter with Samuel. Look, they told him, you are now old and your sons are not like you. Give us a king to judge us like all the other nations have. Samuel was displeased with their request and went to the Lord for guidance. Do everything they say to you, the Lord replied, for they are rejecting me, not you. They don't want me to be their king any longer. Let me read this slowly. They don't want me to be their king any longer. Wow. And many people are still in that state today. If your dad, mom, granddad, or grandma is over 75 years, send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the Queen. Because Nigeria was part of the Queen's government. Yes, Nigeria was under colonization by Great Britain. The Queen had a representative here called the Governor General. His job was to enforce the will or the wish of the Queen. And he did a great job of it. In fact, he went beyond. Now the main thing was to establish the culture. He taught us the culture. That was the law. Some of us here, you drink three or four times a day in this hot economy, in this hot climate. Where did you come from? It's British culture. Even this food concept. And some of us will not lie on top. In this heat, that was acceptable. That was a model. That's what God does. Apart from the fact that all of us have to speak English. So when Christ says, seek first the kingdom of God and right living by Him, adopt the culture of heaven. God be your king and let His values be your values. Let His culture be your culture. Christ taught us to pray. You remember, His disciples saw that He was getting unusual results. God answered His prayers. Miracles happened. So they came to Him. He told us to pray. The way you pray, you should pray. He said, okay, when you pray, this is how you pray. Our Father, who is in heaven, hallowed be your name. What was the next line? Let your kingdom, let your government come. I'm committing to be your citizen. Be my king. Let your kingdom come. Let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Yeah. Let your values be my values. Let your belief system be my belief system. Let your culture be my culture. And then everything else flows from there. Give us this day our daily bread. Okay. The way provision comes in God's system is not the way provision comes in Satan's system. I want my provision through your system. It's amazing. The difference with our own king is that our king is love personified. What is love? That's the difference with his leadership. What does the church owe a society? It can't be buildings. It's got to be more than that. Can't just be noise. What did Jesus and the apostles give the society? What did they leave that has made it possible for the church to exist now? It can be physical. It's values. And the chief cornerstone of those values is what? Love. They asked Jesus, as which is the greatest commandment? He said, love God. And love your neighbor as yourself. He said, on these two hang all the law and the prophets. All the commandments you can see in the Old Testament, he said, summarize all them in this. The 10 commandments, you can summarize them in those two. Love God, the first part. The second part, love your neighbor. Thou shalt not steal. If you love me, you won't steal from me. Thou shalt not lie. If you love me, you won't lie to me. Thou shalt not kill. Hey, if you love me, you won't buy me now. You won't kill me. Right? If you love me, you won't convert what belongs to me and take it. It's love. Love is our culture. So sometimes I like for Jesus to speak to you himself from the pages of Scripture. So let me read some verses from Matthew 6. Matthew 6, verses 24 to 34, Message Bible. And we're going to pray. Matthew 6, verse 24. You can't worship two gods at once. Loving one God, you'll end up hating the other. Adoration of one fits contempt for the other. You can't worship God and money, both.